I got an iron brew, which is like a
What
classic Scottish drink. It's like a fizzy, orangey kind of drink that is like really famous in Scotland.
kick
Welcome
off?
back, people, the insiders, here again. Another evening chatting surf with the man, the myth, the legend that is Daz. How you doing?
There you go, Matty. The only legend I've created is a legend of running behind vacant buildings or up the sand dunes to drop the kids at the pool when the surf's on the cook. That's something I'm that's something I'm very legendary about. Apart from that, I'd call myself Mr. Average. How are you been?
Well, it's better than nothing, but I've been good. Big week for me, which we'll go into. Um, Went on a strike mission mentioned in the last poddy. Went on a strike mission to Guaranteed Waves, which was a big trip. Watched a few bits, not watched too much, but watched a few bits this week, and ordered a new board. So pretty good week for me.
Pretty good week for you, ordering a new board. Everyone loves ordering a new board. I must say I'm interested to hear how the trip up to Scotland went, and was it tiring? And did anyone have wind in the car?
Very windless, actually. I was surprised by that, but very windless in the car. Was it tiring? Yes. So basically, details for it were left Newquay at around 8 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. Arrived in Edinburgh, Scotland at Lost Shore at about quarter to 7 at night. So, you know, just over 10-hour trip, but we took it easy, done a couple of swaps, done a couple of stops and swaps of driving. Um, but really cool crew, landed up there, food into a lodge on site. The accommodation was fantastic. Really big lodge, like perfect, like, and it was on top of like the pool's in a quarry, and the lodge is just like on top of the quarry, so you look down on the pool all night, where it's all flat and it was kind of like misty, so it looked mysterious and it looked cool.
Is it lit up overnight?
Um, you can't surf it at night.
No,
Um,
but
but
is
the
there
the
light? Is there lights
yeah,
on?
yeah, there's lights on, so you can see it. Um, and there's like a restaurant there. There's a restaurant on site and stuff that does really good food.
What
So,
can you get? Can you get fried Snickers bars and haggis
do you know what?
and
It's
tripes on toast?
pretty posh for Scotland. It was more like Parmesan fries and dough bites and stuff. It was pretty posh. Like the food was really good, actually. Really good food. Um,
Affordable?
on the upper end of expensive. Well, not sorry, on the upper end of affordable going into expensive, but big, like filling. Um,
So can you feel your gut for a tenner?
I think I got two slices of pizza for like £12, but it was like a quarter of pizza was a slice. So
Hmm.
it was like half a pizza for 12 quid. So,
There you go.
and I got
And
I got an iron
what
brew, which is a
what were your
classic.
what were your toppings on your pizza?
One was just margarita and one was called like a carnivore, and it was like pepperoni, salami, and like some chilies and stuff. It was pretty good.
And what was your beer?
I got an iron brew, which is like a
What
classic Scottish drink. It's like a fizzy, orangey kind of drink that is like really famous in Scotland. Which
alcohol? Is it alcoholic?
no, it's like a kid's drink.
Okay.
It's like a can of Coke, but iron brew. Um, which was pretty good. And then we woke up. I went to lodge, woke up, and we had a 8 a.m. session. We had a guy there, Lee, who I set it up with, who's like a proper legend. He jumped in with us, and we started off on some turn waves. Then he turned it up onto this kind of comp turns wave that they've actually never run for the public. And then it was like 20 minutes of each. And then the last 20 minutes of that first session was the barrel setting, which was super, super fun. Like really hard to surf for like some of the boys made it look easy. And Lee, who works there, has got it dialed. But for me, it was like tricky, like super fun, but tricky because you're trying to work it out. And like you kind of get like a really mellow takeoff. And then suddenly this thing's mutant and it properly throws over you. And it's shallow and it kicks you in if you don't get it right.
Did you come out of any?
I don't think I think technically I didn't really get in any. I was like, I was trying to get deep. The first one I got like, I rode it all the way through, but I felt like I was slightly in front of it. And then the next one, I felt like I was slightly deeper, but still in front of it. And then the third one, I tried to still too much and like it went over me, but then I was then going over doing cartwheels down the pool. So I made a couple of rides, but I don't think I got any like super deep ones and stuff.
Did you feel like you were hindered by being the 6'2" you are?
A little bit, and also yeah, well, definitely, um, definitely like slightly easier if you're a shorter guy and you don't have to pack it, and also like not really not really used to stalling for barrels and being like that technical with it. More like you usually surf beach breaks where it's like you kind of like take off and accidentally get covered up and then like come out. But it was still really really fun to try and work out and kind of get to grips with. And then we done a couple of other sessions in the day. Done like a setting called the high performance setting, which I'd recommend to nearly anyone who wants like a really good surf because like the first 20 minutes is like normal turns, like chest high turns. Then the last next 20 minutes is like say like head high turns, and then the last 20 minutes is the barrel settings. So you get a variation of them all. Um, for your for yourself and someone else who has never been to a pool, normally you just book a turn setting or a barrel setting, and so you get barrels for an hour or you get turns for an hour. But that one you get the variety, which is really really cool. But yes, basically surfed all day from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. like on a variety of settings. I actually used I done one of the smaller settings just because it was the last surf and I was like, let's get back in. And I used a Bradley mid twin 6.6 and it was actually pretty fun. I actually caught a couple of waves switch in that setting, which was
Okay.
kind of fun. Well, popping up regular and then halfway through switching over and riding the rest of it switch, which is just fun, piss around kind of thing. Um, and then yeah, and then done the drive back and got back on about 2 a.m. in the morning.
So would you say you caught more waves in that day than you will have caught on a normal Saturday, which is half decent around home?
100%. So they have a thing there called flow state, which is like the AI technology that takes photos and videos of all your waves. So actually, I know in I done 3 hours worth of surfing that day and caught 82 waves.
And what sort of wetsuit were you packing?
So I was in. That's the whole reason we was there. So I was there for Nord, the brand that we do through Nord or Wetsuit Outlet. And I was I was testing our hooded 6 mil that is coming out in December. So at 8 a.m. the water was 7 degrees and I wore that and was absolutely toasty. And then for the next session at 10 a.m. I done a session. Sorry, I done 4 sessions for the 82 waves, and I done 5-4 for the rest of the day, and the water got to like 10 degrees.
And like what sort of thickness booties?
I was in 5 mil boots
Okay, so you changed wetties up.
twice. Yeah, yeah. So in the morning I had the hooded one on, and it was, but then you're not duck diving, and you're not like the wind. It was like 1 mile an hour wind, so there was like
Okay.
no wind. So I kind of then surfed the rest of the day in the 5 mil.
When you say surf the rest of the day, do you actually,
Well,
is there a time where you're getting out of your wetty or you just staying in it?
I So in the morning I got out, and then for the rest of it I stayed in it because there was like hour gaps. But you get out, and there's like hot showers and
And
like
jacuzzi thing.
there isn't a jacuzzi, but there's like hot changing rooms and like showers you could go stand under, and it wasn't that cold with no wind. It was actually okay. And then
Okay.
like once you're out, you go and warm up in the shower. You come out, have something to eat, chat shit a little bit, and then you was pretty much lining up for another surf and getting ready to go for another surf.
Was there any public there on the
Yeah,
day you went?
yeah.
Okay, so is the place busy?
When we went, it was a Wednesday, middle of the week in November, so it wasn't too busy, which actually makes it slightly better. I'd actually recommend people to try and go. Like it's not that cold, and you paddle a lot, so I wouldn't say you'd be put off by the cold. I would say actually you're gonna have a better time because, um, for example, one of the settings we done, there was meant the maximum people in allowed in that setting is 12, and there was six of us. So we had double the amount of waves that you'd normally have if there was 12 people in there. So it wasn't busy, but it wasn't dead. But it was good.
And oh, now I forgot what I was going to say. Are they gonna shut at all over winter?
So I did ask that actually, and so last year they didn't. They shut on like 2 days because the water got down to 2 degrees, and
Jesus.
that's too cold. Um, so they don't have like a planned month shutdown for maintenance or anything like that.
Mm,
It's basically based on the weather. They'll call it on if it's safe to run or not, basically.
okay. Okay. Successful operation, you think?
Super successful. Got some really good shots, some really good testing for our suits. Like one of the guys, Ryan, he rips. He will his 154 from 8 a.m. in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Didn't get out of it the whole time. Didn't get cold. Surfed it the whole day. Like, and for us, that's perfect testing for a wetsuit because that's. I think his flow state thing came back and he had like 124 waves that day. So
Jesus.
we know that the suit's going to hold up all day. It's like it's worked perfectly, paddling more than you normally would be paddling, kind of thing. So, perfectly, yeah, exactly what we needed for testing, exactly what we needed for content and for shots, and just for a trip as well. Like, so it was sick for me to arrange the trip, and I've got huge, huge thanks to Lee at Lost Shore for helping out. But being able to go to like I took six, it was me and six others. Um, and to be able to say to them like, "Yep, come with me," and I covered some of the cost for it and stuff like that. It's just a cool thing to do as well. So really, really fun.
And fun with going on your mate's surf trip.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you we drove 10 hours. And it was really weird actually. We was having a conversation with it the Tuesday night we got there. We was having a conversation and I was like, oh, it's really weird. Like you go on a surf. None of us were sat there on surf line. None of us were thinking, oh, what's the wind gonna do? What's like, is it gonna be bigger than it's meant to be? Is it gonna be smaller? Are we gonna get skunked? Like, how was it today? We knew what we was waking up to, which was really cool, except for the fact that I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning with pure excitement. I was like, I couldn't get back to sleep. I was just like, I just want to go surf.
And so if you're waking up there early like that, have they got a cafe that's open or
Yeah.
anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They got a cafe, like full like, coffees, like pain au chocolats, croissants, cookies. I'm sure you could get bacon sandwiches. I'm not sure if you could get bacon sandwiches or not, but yeah. But we were in our lodge, and our lodge has like a coffee, like a proper coffee machine, um, and stuff like that. So yeah, we just kind of got ready in there.
I'd
Yeah, but
like to say I'd come. I'd like to say I'd come, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But I can't drive to it. So there you go. If there was one in France, maybe that I could drive to.
you could. I don't know if you could from Biarritz or not, but if you can, whoever you are, if it's you or who someone listening to this, if you can fly to Edinburgh. They have full range of rental boards. They have or they have the Bell brand, but they're all Bradleys. So they have rental Bradleys and they have rental Firewires, like a full range. And it's 5 minutes from Edinburgh Airport by taxi.
There you go.
So
And how much is the day then? Or how much is one session?
it depends on the settings you do, but I think it's between 60 and 70 pounds a session. But then if you book this might change for different times of the year, but if you book one session and then book another one on the day, I think you get I think your second session and or third session, second and third or any more you book is discounted on the day by like a chunk. That
I
might change.
couldn't I couldn't save myself flying up there and only having one session.
No, but what you can do is if you know it's not going to be that busy, just book one session. And then when you get there on the day, book the other sessions and you'll get the money saved.
Okay, and switch up the settings.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, but yeah, really, really fun. And I took two boards. I rode a asymmetric twin fin, which is like kind of like a pinny tail. It's album Disaster, which was so good. And then I did take my Jack Freestone album Freewing for the barrel setting, just because it's got more rocker in it and stuff. But and they went good.
Unreal.
But yeah, so that was my heavy part of the week, which was good fun. And then literally drove back, and then the next day, and so got back 2 a.m. Thursday morning, and Thursday and Friday were pumping, so straight into the sea.
So yeah, it's surfed out.
A little bit, yeah. Um, you've had some good surf?
We've had some surf. We've had some surf. All right. We different. Sounds really different to your week. I was in t-shirt most days this week. We had an Indian summer week and um 6 to 15 foot worth of swell uh basically every day. This morning was absolutely macking. Drove down the coast with Paulie Evans and we paddled out not long after, well, not really straight after dark, but pretty early, 7:45 or something. And there were, there were 15-foot sets out there. I saw some gnarly carnage and came home and lay in the backyard, tried to read a book and then fell asleep.
Sounds
Huh?
like a great day.
Do you remember last year I was telling you about how I snapped my 8, 10 and a half?
Yeah.
Um, Bradley, general manager Grunter.
Yep.
Well, I got it fixed this summer by Kevin Olsen. Shout out to Kevin Olsen, Plonker Surfboards. One of the best repair guys around. He's just like, if you ever come in Hossagore, he's a man. Come past the cafe if you want his phone number or whatever. Um, it took him 3 or 4 months, but I told him to take a long time, so that just in between stages, because it was a full snap. The bottom still had the fiberglass attached. And by the time I picked it back up off him, that would have been 6 months after given it to him. And I, for the life of me, couldn't tell if it was heavier or not.
Yeah.
And I only surfed it, I think, 3 times before I snapped it. And so now I've surfed it another 3 times. And I don't know if it goes better or not, but I liked it then and I
You
love it now.
feel like you
Goes
got a new
on.
board.
Yeah, 200, 200.
Yeah, so it feels like you got a new board for 200.
Exactly. I'm stoked. I'm fully stoked. And, I've got 3 sessions out of it. So every session you can then just divide it by the cost of the repair.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be careful with it. So I don't think I'd, and I don't think I'd repair like anything under a 6.5 if it was fully snapped in two.
Mm.
But I think that size board you can get away with it. I know a couple of people that have, or this guy I knew last year. I was talking to him about that because he had a Tom Parrish, one of the greatest Hawaiian shapers, and he'd snapped and he said it went better after it got
Yeah.
fixed. And a few people do say that with guns. On bigger guns, you get a bit of extra weight that maybe they were lacking before. But
Yeah.
insane. And I'm telling you, I went to hot yoga tonight from 6 to 7:30. I just got back into it after nearly a year off. It's just the best thing. Fuck. talking about health and fitness. I've told you I've been doing the barefoot walking all year, and I'm still barefoot most mornings here in the neighborhood. Yesterday morning, we had this torrential downpour, and I've gone out for my walk. I took an umbrella, and it stopped raining when I went out. And two of the drains on the end of my street were fully clogged up with leaves because it's autumn. And there was like the whole corner was a puddle, and I just got in with my bare feet and declogged them, all the leaves out, and saved the neighborhood.
Hero.
There you go. And I'm telling you, it felt so good, the water on the feet and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, just loving it. My feet are so much stronger. I can't recommend it enough. I'm sure it's not so easy in colder countries, but I guess in the colder environment you are, the tougher you're getting anyway.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I went to Manchester the first time and saw the Manchester girls getting around at night in mini skirts
Ha.
and singlet tops
Different breed. Yeah, for
in
different breed.
0 degrees outside. So, you do acclimatize yourself, and I think you can acclimatize your feet to it. And
Yeah, I mean
and, and
one of the guys was in Scotland with Will. He went no boots all day, like 10-degree water, 7-degree water in the morning. Just,
heavy.
but he said he can't remember the last time he wore boots like year round. And I was like, yeah, you've just probably trained your feet to be mental.
I don't know if in the long term that's so good for you. I mean, I'm looking now. I'm waiting for a proper cold snap to cut happen, and I'm into a pair of barefoot
Shoes.
shoes.
Yeah,
Just for walking. I think like if you're standing up all day in the cafe or working, or if you've got a stand-up job, I think you still need kind of heels occasionally to just
yeah,
keep that tilt on your hips and everything. But apart from that, yeah, I'm just frothing, and the surf's just cooking this week, like going to be cooking. So life's good.
yeah.
And then I think the cold snaps will come.
We've got waves this week. Got a couple of little projects to do around waves, so I'm excited for that. Enough about our surfing. The only real major thing I guess this week is that the electric acid surfboard test from Stab with Mikey Feb episode 2 dropped. I had a few messages about this after episode 1 and after our review. I had a few messages when episode 2 dropped because I only actually watched it this morning. Um, and I was getting messages from people asking like, "Oh, what are your thoughts on episode 2?" And I've tried to keep a clear mind. And we haven't spoke about it. So, first, what are your thoughts on the episode in general?
Oh, it's just an amazing surfer. It's what I found is interesting how often he's saying that he's surfing, he's downplaying the waves a lot, which just shows that he must have grown up with really good quality waves in South Africa because he's downplaying the waves a lot. You can see a lot of the crowd, but he still seems to get fucking some hell waves at Malibu, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Malibu and Trestle,
Malibu.
yeah,
Jesus, amazing. And Trestles, um, even though you can tell that Trestles does soft, does back off a lot because he does bog a lot of rails
mm. I was actually going to
on a
say
few of
that.
those boards.
I thought that he looked like almost like sometimes like, and it's weird to say this about his surfing style, but almost like the more perfect the wave, it was like not as good for him. Like some of the clips from episode 1 in Australia and some of the Malibu waves and things like that, like he kind of looked better on a less good wave. And then some of the Trestles
Oh,
wave,
I just think Trestles has just got that top section. Fipsy told me a few times that he hated it because you go up and it doesn't push it back. It doesn't push back
right?
at you.
Yeah, yeah,
Where as opposed to we're used to seeing people like Mick Fanning, Crosby, Griff, Cole Pinto, guys that are just absolute next level that make it look a lot better.
yeah,
Even though he is next level as well, Mikey, but he's also surfing it on boards that he doesn't know, and a lot of them are
yeah,
like twin fins and things like that.
Yeah, and funnily enough, I thought that. So I actually thought this episode was good. Like I thought it was a massive improvement on the first episode. I thought you got to. I felt like I got to know more about the boards than in episode one. There were still a couple of bits that I didn't quite get, but um,
I just love watching him surf it. So much him
yeah,
talking about it. Basically, what he has said, seems like a little bit of a quiet talker. He's not like Rasta or anything, but he is actually then communicating in a lot less space. What you see when he's
yeah.
surfing it.
And I thought with him, it was very easy to be like there was boards where I'd see him surf it, and I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, that's he likes that board. That's a good board." Like the Tom Marat board, the guy from France, the Aussie who lives in France.
But does he live in France?
Yeah,
Where?
I think near your neck of the woods.
Are you
Um,
sure?
I'm 99%. Let's have a quick look. Anyway, I thought his board.
Oh, it looked insane, that board, didn't it?
It says France, California, Oz. I don't exactly know where in France.
More out
Oh,
sounds French.
Biarritz.
Okay.
Anyway, his board looks sick. Um, and you could tell. And then Mikey got out and was like, "Yeah, I really, really like this board." And there was the Jalisa Vincent board. When he had it as a quad, I thought he looked really, really good. And then I noticed that before he even said it, I noticed that he was paddling out with it as a thruster, and it looked like he surfed it really bad at trestles. And then he went back, obviously, surfed it as a quad with Katie Simmers, and it looked really good. And I thought that board looked good. And then that weird board with the weird small fins looked terrible. Um,
What was that again? It
it
had
was
the
a
weird.
thruster. Yeah, I can't even remember the
Oh
guy's
yes,
name. Yeah,
Bo Bo
yeah,
Young. No,
Bo
not
Foster
Bo
or something.
Bo Foster who rips. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like I was a bit lost on that one because it kind of just seemed a thruster, but then it had different fins.
weird things.
It didn't suit him. Didn't suit him. Gee, she
The,
got a boost out of this, Jaleesa Vincent, didn't she? Like that's what I had a little bit of a, and I've thought about this previously when it was Coco Ho and stuff. I just wish that when even though I talked to Paulie Evans about it, and he was like, yeah, but that was because Mikey got to pick.
Mikey picked all of them. Yeah,
Yeah, so he picked her boards, which is interesting. Maybe they put a bunch of shapers for him to pick off as well. I just think it's a little bit
her
too
board did
easy.
look. Her board looked good though. Like her board looked
Yeah,
better
but
than the.
anyone can shape a fat little fish, and every single person in the world does. The amount of
But
fat little fishes you see in shops, it's there's
but
a
to
lot.
be, I agree with you that it's weird that she got in, like when you talk about the top 16 people in the world or like the top alternative 16 people and stuff. Um,
Or even people that are unknown that do
yeah,
shaping
unknown.
as a
Yeah, that's
full-time job, as opposed for
fringe
her,
typing.
it's just like an artistic diversion.
But then like Derek Disney's board looked way worse than hers. Like she obviously clearly shaped a good board for him. Like and the board she shaped for Katie looked really good. And like Derek, like you saw the Derek Disney board, it didn't look very good at all.
No, I don't know. I thought it looked kind of pretty
I thought,
edgy. It just didn't suit him. But that's because, like, she's dumbed it down and shaped flat little fishes, which any of these people can do. But all those other guys that have shaped a lot more are trying to do something
but the
that's going to
Derek
give you.
I think the Derek Disney was a 5'3" twinser with
Are you sure?
pure yeah, it's pure single concave. That was what he didn't like about the Derek Disney. And you could see him like falling over it and stuff. And like obviously Derek Disney makes amazing boards. And Jaleesa obviously has made a good board and does make good boards. And um but I do agree, like when you go through the list of people that aren't in it, like not saying they should, but Ryan Lovelace isn't in this. Ryan Birch isn't in this. Um, Obviously Matt Parker's not in it. Don't know if
Yeah, but they can't
um,
have those dudes every year as well. I understand giving people a chance and everything. It's more just a case of their kind of marketing schemes. I think there's a ton of female shapers in the world that do it as a full-time job that that aren't part of a fucking marketing machine like Album or Billabong with Jalisa and stuff like that. But hats off to them to, like you said, who's not going to try and take free advertising when you can get it? But
I mean when
it's not what I'm looking for when I'm watching a thing like this.
I think for me the biggest thing I would take away from it is not the actual shapers, but the shapes. And that's the bit that I think if they'd have said to Mikey Feb, right, give us a list of 16 people you want to order boards from, that's great. But then the board should have been ordered by Stab as to give a variety of boards and to maybe make Mikey ride something that or like to make the shapers work on something different. But like the weird little thruster from that Bo Foster, it didn't quite make sense for this series and it didn't like for me it didn't quite make sense. And like so if those were the people that he wanted to ride boards from, and I don't really have a problem with that, but I kind of am like, well, I think maybe they went too far and they should have gone back to like the one they done with Dane. Dane wouldn't have chose half those boards, but it was so good to watch him surf boards that he wouldn't normally surf. And
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. Yep. I thought he surfed really good on that longer board at Malibu.
that Alex not Nost.
Was it? He
Uh,
surfed really good on that. And you know what? He surfed a longer board in Australia at Bell's that it didn't look good.
the
And then
Simon
all of a
Jones.
sudden you saw him on that and it was like that looked really good. Maybe as part of Malibu's a good wave. And he's also seems really sensitive to volume and thickness, which was really interesting. That was a lot of his critiques was a couple of the boards were maybe too thick and he's a thin guy, so that would be a struggle. And some of them were too thin, or one of
Yeah.
them was too thin. So that was really good. He's an amazing surfer. I can't wait to see him surfing in Hawaii. And it's kind of good that I mean, he's just a quiet guy. He's not as much personality as some of the previous people we've had. And like, everyone can't be the same, can they?
No, I did. Yeah, I agree. I did like the bit with Alex Nost and Ellis Erickson and Delita when they were like, and I liked the bit when you could see Alex Nost like watching Mikey back, and he wasn't even looking at Mikey, he was looking at the board. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, so the water's coming off the rail quicker and it's coming sideways off the fins. That's what I want it to do. Like, so he's like designed that board to do that, and he's watching it, and it's like, yeah, it's actually doing what it's meant to do. And I think that was really cool. I
Well,
also thought it was really cool to see there was a bit of a geek um in England we call it Easter egg, where it's like a hidden part in the thing, but like or something like most people wouldn't notice. But did you see that they're using mini future boxes for the Twinser? Did you see that?
no.
Oh, on the Alex Nose board. So they got normal futures boxes, and then normally you have the FCS one plug above a Twinser to use your Twinser fin in. And he said, "Oh, we've been testing, and they've made mini future boxes with mini future Twinsers, and you got to see them. Like they're not on. I know they're not on the market and stuff like that, but it was interesting to see maybe they're coming. I thought that was cool.
I tell you, I was pleasantly surprised by the Alex Knox section because over many years he's often really annoyed me by his extreme coolness, but I actually did find him really intellectually coherent in
Yeah.
everything he said. And he has stuck to his guns over his career. And he is an amazing surfer. And he is someone, for example, who has put time in the shaping bay over a long period of time, which is what I was getting at before. Uh,
Yeah.
as opposed to, even though the Tom Morat guy probably hasn't been doing it for that long either, because he's
Yeah, he's
only
young, and
22.
he
But it
said
seems
like
like it's his full-time job. I tell you, his board looked insane, and I think
so
so
good.
did Ellis
Ericsson.
Ellis Erickson. It's pretty cool how he's got his sunnies on. He fits.
Yeah.
He's always had that super. I wouldn't call it wannabe try hard cool image. I just think surfers have always wanted to look unique, and they were known even from back in the 60s, like as looking really unique. And that's actually why surf culture became as big as it did for a period, because surfers did dress cool and they were different to everyone else. Unfortunately, with the culture becoming that big, everyone looking different at the same time means everyone looks the same. Huh?
Yeah. Talking about looking different, I thought that the Tomo, the Daniel Thompson board, looked absolutely disgusting. When he held it up and it looked like it looked like it had the nose was like folded in and it looked really weird, but he surfed it very
He
good.
surfed it incredible, didn't he? Tomo, he's incredible shaper.
Yeah,
Uh,
incredible. And like
incredible.
function over beauty, whatever way it is. And with the fins that those I've never used them, but those big fins with the like flary like thing out the back and stuff. Um, but he surfed it really, really good.
Like it. I honestly don't like the idea of us just commenting on everything Stubb does, but I just think that this series is maybe one of my favorite video series of the year. But we will get back to that because there's heaps to come on that, and there's 3 minutes to go, Matty. And I did watch something today, which I wanted to spruik on, and that was Russell Burke. Oh,
Oh,
he's just mad. 12 minutes of Russell Burke. Do yourself a favour. One of the best videos of the year. Best technical tube riding you can ever imagine. And I just think he's an absolute legend. And then there's one other thing I wanted to say is, and I'm going to send you the link, and I wouldn't mind us putting the link on this podcast blurb if you can, and that's to listen to Pauline Menza on Jamie Briswick's
the surface
uh,
thing.
Surface Journal podcast. She's an absolute hero to me. She's a hero in a world of. We'll get that to next episode. Ah, we might have to keep going. Either way, she incredible. Listen, like world champion. Did it with no sponsors. Did it without being a
Bikini tag
supermodel.
model, yeah.
Exactly. And when the one of the questions was there, and I was sitting there thinking, I want to have her on the podcast. I'm going to ask if she can come on. And I was thinking, she must love Katie Simmons. And straight away he said to her, like, who's your favorite surfer? And I hit my knee and she said, Katie Simmons, small, freckly looking style master, just like she was.
Yeah. Yeah, I've listened to it. I've listened to a couple of the Swellian podcasts with her, and they're incredible. Like she's a bus driver now,
She
and
fixes up pathways down to the beach so people can get down to the beach, old people.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just wonderful.
she's an icon. She's cool. And to end on, I just wanted to shout out this last week. Harry Timpson got an absolute mental barrel, like full stand up barrel at Porth. Well, I won't say where it is, but it's in Cornwall, and it was mental. And then two of the boys, Ollie Keith.
Congrats, Harry.
Yeah, Ollie Keast and Sammy Hearn went back to back on two crazy ones in France as well. It was pretty sick to see, like just like mates scoring barrels was pretty sick.
Well, thanks for having me on a Sunday night. Next episode, I'm going to have a little bit of a bitch to you on the influencers out there that just post absolutely rubbish that it should be left to themselves, so that because they don't understand that the rest of the world's got jobs and food costs money. Huh? But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.